Welcome back to Recap Machine. Today, we'll be recapping a thriller film called To Die For. Enjoy. The beginning of the movie takes us to Suzanne Moretto, where she would probably call herself Suzanne Stone, which was her original name before taking her husband's name. Suzanne is filming a documentary about her life with her husband Larry Moretto before he died. In another scene, a group of interviewers questioned Larry's sister, Janice Moretto, about how she felt about her brother's wife Suzanne Janice, who reported negatively, saying she didn't like Suzanne from the start and would have preferred her brother to be married to someone else. Suzanne Stone and Larry Moretto's families are hosted on a popular TV show where they talked about the activities they noticed between their children's marriage. The open time continues, and Larry continues to show off Suzanne. Funnily enough, none of her relatives agreed with their union, but no one said a word because they didn't want to cause trouble. Suzanne has always been passionate about watching TV and advancing her career to become the new world-famous journalist, broadcast news to people around the world, and use Larry's family restaurant as a medium to support herself financially. She takes a job as an assistant at a local cable station, hoping to reach the network ladder of her dreams. The climb will be realized through relentless perseverance. She is eventually promoted to writer of the station's evening weather report. Later we meet Jimmy Emmett, who was in prison but also interviewed, and Lydia Mertz, a high school student who became a good friend of Suzanne's. Along the way, Larry realizes that Suzanne wasn't sure she wanted to start a family. He asks her to give up her career to help out in his restaurant and start a family with him. The night Larry immediately tells Suzanne about Suzanne's future plans, Larry tells irritably. Suzanne immediately starts plotting to get rid of Larry. She manipulates the high school themes of the TV documentary. She lets teenagers speak for a special occasion. She invites Lydia and Jimmy to her house. When her husband is away, she makes Jimmy dance with him and sends Lydia to walk her dog. When Lydia returns, she catches Jimmy giving it to Suzanne in Suzanne's bedroom. She takes Jimmy to her house where she sucks his pickle so hard that Jimmy eventually agrees that getting a gun from Russell will trick him into doing her bidding by seducing Jimmy and killing him and his friends Russell Hines and Lydia there, and insists on killing Larry with Lydia's mother's gun. With her help, she is able to complete her mission to kill Larry the night Larry is shot. Jimmy holds the gun just as he pulled the trigger. In that brief moment, several images flashed uncontrollably of him fucking Susanna really hard and in different positions as she screamed. As time passed, the police continued their investigation, but all they have are just words and nothing enough evidence to arrest Suzanne on this basis. Larry's death is believed to be the result of a botched burglary. However, the police stumble upon a teen speak out clip exploring Suzanne's sexual relationship with Jimmy at work. This evidence leads to the teens being linked to the crime scene. Lydia makes a deal with the police to talk to Suzanne while carrying a phone. Lydia calls Suzanne, and they meet in a crowded mall. Suzanne unwittingly blames Jimmy and Russell for her husband's death. She even proves that she has an alibi, thereby inadvertently revealing that she was involved in the murder. However, despite this damning evidence, Suzanne argues that the police resorted to arrest and is being released on bail, dropping all charges and allegations of Suzanne's innocence. In the absence of evidence she had anything to do with Larry's death when she was released from court and was on his way home. A swarm of reporters flocked to her at the entrance to the courthouse and bombarded her with numerous questions about how she would continue to fend for herself the media spotlight. Suzanne makes up a story about her husband, who was a cocaine dealer and was murdered by Jimmy and Russell. Jimmy and Russell, the high school boys, are sentenced to life imprisonment. Russell's sentence is reduced, and he faces 15 years in prison. Lydia is paroled, and Jimmy is sentenced to life in prison. Suzanne finishes her documentary and leaves home after receiving a phone call from a fake film studio executive. She gets in her car and drives towards him, while Larry's father, Joe Moretto, realizes that Suzanne was behind his son's death and uses his mafia connections to have her murdered. He hires a professional leader. The hitman throws Suzanne off her car by posing as a movie studio executive, kills her and hides her body under a frozen lake. Lydia tells her side of the story in a TV show interview and achieves national fame by becoming a celebrity. Janice, Larry's sister, who has always disliked Suzanne, practices figure skating on the frozen lake, the lake where Suzanne's frozen buried body lay. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. Also, what did you think of this film? Let me know in the comments below, along with a movie you want to see recapped.